CP System II. The CP System II CP shīsutemu II, shīpī shīsutemu II or CP II is an arcade system board that Capcom first used in 1993 for Super Street Fighter II. It was the successor to their previous CP system and Capcom Power System Changer arcade hardware, and was succeeded by the CP System III hardware in 1996, of which the CP II would outlive by over 4 years. The arcade system had new releases for it until the end of 2003, ending with Hyper Street Fighter II. History. The earlier Capcom system board, the original CP system, or CP-1, while successful, was very vulnerable to bootleggers making unauthorized copies of the games. In order to rectify the situation, Capcom took the CP system hardware with Q sound with minimal changes and employed encryption on the program ROM to prevent software piracy. Due to the encryption, the system was never bootlegged until unencrypted program data became available. Capcom announced the development of the CP-II in 1990. They had planned to complete and release the CP-II in 18 months. They also originally had plans for the system to be capable of 3D graphics. The CP System II consists of 2 separate parts: the A board, which connects to the JAMA harness and contains components common between all CP System II games, and the B board, which contains the game itself. The relationship between the A and B board is very similar to that between a home video game console and cartridge. CP System II and B boards are color-coded by region, and each board can only be used with its same colored mate. The exception to this is that the blue and green boards can be used together. The B boards hold battery-backed memory containing decryption keys needed for the games to run. As time passes, these batteries lose their charge and the games stop functioning because the CPU cannot execute any code without the decryption keys. This is generally referred to as a suicide battery. It is possible to bypass the original battery and swap it out with a new one in circuit, but this must be done before the original falls below 2V or the keys will be lost. Consequently, the board would die even if used legally. It would not play after a finite amount of time unless a fee was paid to Capcom to replace it. Due to the heavy encryption, it was believed for a long time that CP System II emulation was next to impossible. However, in January 2001, the CP-II Shock Group was able to obtain unencrypted program data by hacking into the hardware, which they distributed as XOR difference tables to produce the unencrypted data from the original ROM images, making emulation possible, as well as restoring cartridges that had been erased because of the. In January 2007, the encryption method was fully reverse-engineered by Andreas Naive and Nicolas Salmoria. It has been determined that the encryption employs 2 4-round Feistel ciphers with a 64-bit key. The algorithm was thereafter implemented in this state for all known CP-II games in MAM. In April 2016, Eduardo Cruz, Artemio Urbina, and Ian Court announced the successful reverse engineering of Capcom's CP System II security programming, enabling the clean desuicide and restoration of any dead games without hardware modifications. Region colors. Technical specifications. CPU, primary, Capcom DL-1000 5.5 68,000 at 16 MHz. Sound, Kabuki DL-30p encrypted ZTE, but encryption not used, or standard ZTE at 8 MHz. Capcom custom chipset, GPU, CPS, and CPSP graphics processors at 16 MHz, same as CP-1, SMINUS1, Sound chip, Lucent DL-1000, 425 cone Q Sound DS16 a processor at 4 MHz. DRAM refresh controller DL-2000, 227 I/O controller DL-1000, 123. Display, 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 display. Active resolution 384 x 424 pixels. Overscan resolution 512 x 462, 262 scan lines. Sprites 900 on screen. Colors depth 32-bit RGBA, GBA. Palette 16,777,000. Alpha transparency 256 levels 8-bit. Colors on screen 4096 12-bit. Colors per tile 16 4-bit. RAM 1328 KB 1 MB FPM DRAM, 304 KB SRAM. A board 1 MB FPM DRAM, 280 KB SRAM, 256 KB video, 16 KB/O, 8 KB sound. B board 16 KB SRAM, TUX 8 KB. Communication board 8 KB SRAM. Maximum ROM capacity 322 MB 40.25 MB. Dimensions a plus B board pair 40x27x8 cm. List of games 42 games, 2 games.